the agenda looks like. I will be speaking 3 minutes or less, and then we'll get into a bit welcome and introduction would go hand in hand. So it may be less than that, the time we have, just so that we know that we'll respect our time. And then we'll have a short keynote section from Tinuke, and then we'll go into the lecture proper, and then it's going to be a call to action, because we are not just going to have a session like this, and then it's not just in the session, there are other post-training plans, you know, and more deep dive granular sessions that this would lead from after today's session also to the other days of the week, follow-ups, and to be sure that to gauge our interest in deep diving in this session and other sessions that would come after now. I'll be talking a bit about NAPRO, what we do, and then some of our achievements, and also, and of course, we are very much deep into training, and we train on several skills sets, as well as on some certification courses. I'll be speaking about that just for, if you're on the call and it's your first time having interaction with us, you can have an understanding of what we do, and why we do what we do, and our next steps. And also, of course, we would also want to, for those who haven't experienced us before, this is the first time you experience us, and we hope that after today's sessions, we would also have several other sessions or conversations. Basically, who are we? We are a foremost learning and development organization focused on accelerating talent for the fourth industrial revolution, as well as bridging the learning gap between the industry and the classroom. We thrive really on impact, and that's the core of what we do. That's what drives us. Okay, someone said the network is bad. Please, can everyone hear me? So if I, just to confirm it. Okay, so Mayowa, I guess it might be your own network, because if others can hear me, then it means that I will not be wrong if I suggest that it might be your network. Okay, Tunji says he can hear me, so I'll just go ahead. So one thing that drives us is impact. Most of our trainings are centered around impact. And truth be told, for our trainings, for those who have experienced, trainings are actually very, they are demanding in terms of the models and the framework around how it is being delivered. It's stretchy, but of course, it's all geared towards ensuring that we leave footprints in the minds of everyone who comes in contact with us. And truth be told, for our kind of trainings, you have to be mind ready before you can get into the trainings. Mind ready being that the expectation is that you attend the classes, you go through assessments and assignments which would come regularly. And also there's a session that is unique to us, which is called the boardroom, which is a project defense session where participants defend their respective project. And we found out that it has been a very, very impactful moment for everyone who has gone through our session, who have gone through the boardroom, as they tend to apply what they have learned through live sessions. And most of the projects are usually live cases. Some of them might be from model them from organizations who need solutions to one or two problems. We just remodel them, and then students tend to solve problems. So what it means is that going through our respective trainings and then attempting those projects, what it means is that you have actually gone through a live case. So it's not just class work or class exercise, but also bringing real life aspects to it. And what we've also seen is that people from other industries, perhaps I think there was one that we did supply chain. Yeah, it was an FMCG project. I think one of the oldest firm in the UK, I think, yeah. And then for those who were in other industries, were able to get insight into how things work in the FMCG. So like that, we have myriads of those kind of projects that comes from different industries. Some could be insurance, some could be from the health sector and the like. So what you find out that you're applying these skills in different industries, perhaps you've never played there before. So the feedback has been always tremendous. So what trainings do we offer, or do we basically offer? Yes, one of it is data analytics. And one thing we say when it comes to data analytics, we do this best. We have records and testimonials around our data sessions is a total of 6 months, and then is in 3 levels, 2 months for each level. And I can tell you it's demanding, and we don't hide that. We say it's clearly that it's demanding because we are refining data talent, and then we have got to do it the proper way. The next is we do also train on strategic HR analytics. We train on artificial intelligence. We train on financial modeling, Lean Six Sigma, and several other trainings, UI, UX, and the likes. So what's next? So that's basically about April. I'll keep it this short. They said the test of the pudding is in the eating, and then by the time we go through this session, we'll be able to see for ourselves some of the things that we are saying. And most importantly, this is training impact assessment. Sometimes, or more often than not, you find people, especially organizations, and I believe if you are a learning and development person in the organization, or you're an HR manager, and then sometimes you tend to find it difficult to measure impacts on trainings. I'm sure today, or being in this session today, perhaps you might not get everything today. You might get into it because there are deeper levels, and of course the other sessions that will be talked about on how you can then deep dive into knowing fully why you should train your employees and why you should decide on that early enough. We are getting to, this is the last quarter of the year, and most organizations, at least that I know, are currently or working towards planning for the next year, even if the new year, January, might not be their FY, but they plan for the next year, and which one of it is trainings. And I'm sure by the time we go deeper into this section, or from our previous experiences, you'll find out that when it comes to trying to do budget for the year, one of the areas that organizations, especially business leaders, look into managing, call it managing costs. Let me use the word managing costs, is usually training, but I'm sure by the time we get into today's session, it'll be a different perspective. So I won't talk more than I've said now. I want us to experience it live. Thank you for listening to me. The next section we'll be having, it's a keynote section. I'll be having Tinuke take that session to Tinuke, and then I'll do the background work in bringing up the presentation. Thank you so much. Tinuke, over to you.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to be here this evening to give like an opening remark, on this session of calculating the return on investment on training. I'm quite passionate about the impact of training on the bottom line. I think probably this comes from the fact that, my career has spanned across management education, with spending extensive years at Lagos Business School before moving into management consulting in a Big Four. So I know when businesses are asking questions around, show me the results, why should I invest more in training? What have you made out of the training budget for last FY? All right, so I'll just lay a little bit of background. I think Toba will do the big work of, drilling down, on the essentials and then bringing it home. So I'll just introduce us briefly to a training evaluation model, which is like a world-renowned model, a globally acceptable model for evaluating training. It was developed by an emeritus professor in the US. Kirkpatrick is his name. I think he died about 2014. He was one time president of America Society for Training and Development. So he came up with this model, which over time have not only seen it work, but have also used. I think it encapsulates everything you want to measure when it comes to training. So we identified 4 levels to training. The first level is a reaction level, which I think, if we do a self-assessment, all of us can do a self-assessment here, on where we are when it comes to training evaluation. When you send people on training and you give them a form to fill, and they tell you about the facilitator, they tell you about the facility, they tell you about the training approach, delivery method, all right? So that's reaction. You're mainly trying to get information on, how did this training service provider perform? How did the entire experience, how did we find the entire experience? So that's just reaction level. If you take it further and move on that pyramid, you move to where we call the learning, which is level 2 evaluation, where you do an assessment. Sometimes you go on training and they give you a short test, write a training report, just to assess that, there was knowledge, you were able to go away with some knowledge. They taught us 4 levels of training evaluation. So give a report about it. So that's level 2, to test the knowledge we're able to absorb. If you take it a notch higher, then you go to level 3, which is the behavior. All right. So at this point, you need to engage the line managers. All right. So before we even decided to send this person on training, what behaviors were we trying to correct? That means any training endeavor you embark on and where you don't gather data before you send the person on training, most times it's always to be difficult for you to evaluate the impact of that training, because there should be a baseline assessment, all right, a baseline evaluation. Why is this person going on this training? I was talking to a lady I met on one of my facilitation exercises. She was talking to me 2 weeks last week, just this week. She said, my organization wants us to be trained, and because it's the end of the year, and then we are coming up with our training plans. So they've told all of us, go and write out, the trainings we want to go on, or the trainings we need. And immediately in my head, I'm thinking, this is where organizations miss it. So I'll go and fill the form and I'll write all the trainings I think I need. The one I think is relevant, one I don't think is relevant, the one my friend has attended, anything I just fill. But how do we match all those information, that training I've entered in, how do we match it to the business needs? All right, that is why when you're talking of impact, real impact or return on training starts at level 3. Because before you send the person off training, you must have identified the gaps. You must have identified the training needs. All right. So by the time the person goes on training and the person is back 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, you can engage the line manager and say, oh, before this person went on this training, these are the gaps. Reporting skills was a gap. Sales skill was a gap. All right. So 3 months after the training, how has this person's behavior changed? How has this person demonstrated capability or competence, as far as that gap is concerned? And that is the behavior level, that's level 3. And the final level is results, which I think most of our discussions today will be centered on, driving it home, to the bottom line. All right. Management is not concerned about reaction, is not concerned about what the person learned, is not concerned about, he has gained, he has been able to do X, Y, Z. At the end of the day, how has it generated sales? How has it increased revenue? How has it increased our customer base? All right. So until you're able to bring all this together and draw a line from all those training activities, training initiatives, and link it, to the core metrics of business. All right, profitability metric, revenue metric, customer retention metric. All right, reduction in wastage. All right, until you are able to link all those activities you do in your training, and you're able to pinpoint that as a result of this training, the revenue base has increased by 10% or increased by 20%. That means you must gather data before and after for you to justify that expense. All right. So you must be very clear on what you want to achieve before you send somebody on training. And you must be able to link whatever gap you're wishing to close, you must be able to link it to a business result. So if we can have this Kirkpatrick model at the back of our mind, anytime we are thinking training or anytime we are sending somebody on training, so we are very clear, on what we are measuring. We are very clear on what we want to achieve. that is when we can start making impact and then speaking the language of management. So on this note, I'll hand over to JC to continue the rest of the session. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Nikki. And that was actually short and spot on. But before we deep dive into the real meat, I just want to find out if anyone if you have a question or two, so that we can just pick it, so we don't lose it, because we don't know what would you might forget when we go deeper, or other questions might come at time we get more granular. That's one. Secondly, I also want to advise or suggest that if you don't have writing materials at this point, we might need it going into the next, the main lecture for today. So do we have anyone who has a question or two? Do we have any?
Yeah, you can drop your questions, you can drop your comments, you can drop thoughts that came to you in the chat box. I'll attend to it very quickly.
Okay, Happiness says she has a question. Okay, since you've indicated, you can unmute yourself and ask your question if where you are is actually not noisy, and so that we don't lose the question. Happiness.
All right.
Good evening.
Yes, I hope you can hear me too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much for that. My question is, I don't know if I missed this part when you mentioned, but I remember I heard you say that the moment when we ask employees or staff to fill in, the kind of training they think they need, at that point, that is where we miss it in a company. So I'm not sure I heard the latter part. So how do we identify the training needs of the employees? Is it through the line manager, or how do we just identify it? Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your question, Happiness. So when you talk about training should be an offshoot of your performance appraisal. All right. That is where, you identify gaps. All right. At the end of the financial year, your performance was categorized as fair, or your performance was categorized as very good, or your performance was categorized as poor. And this is the reason why. Because you need to give feedback to people. Whatever rating you come up with at the end of the appraisal exercise, there must be a justification for why I am poor, or very good, or excellent performer, why I'm a top performer, or I'm a middle level performer. There must be a reason behind it. And in communicating that reason, I must identify the skills that are deficient. So that is where your training needs is generated. So training can be either to close a gap, or it can also be for developmental purpose. This person has been on this role for 4 or 5 years. We think he can do more. We think he has developed enough competency to assume higher responsibilities. Let us send him on a leadership development program. That is for developmental purpose. But for improvement on the job, for closing gaps on the job, it has to come from your performance appraisal. Otherwise, it will be difficult to link it to business goals and business objectives. If you just make people write their wish list, that means they are just satisfying themselves, but how does it relate to the business? So that is why it's either you're closing a performance gap, or you are preparing the person for higher responsibility. I hope I answered your question, Happiness.
Very well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we won't take any questions again till half the main lecture. So without further ado, so that we can manage our time, Toba, just to be sure that you can hear me, and you are also good to share your screen.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have the floor, Toba.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Happiness. And thank you, Tinuke, for that wonderful intro. Please, just confirm that you can see my screen and people can hear me. It's very important.
Yes, okay. I can see your screen.
Okay, so before I do anything, I want to implore everyone who you are here today and you are on this call. I need you to please do me a favor. I need you to unmute. and celebrate someone in the house. So it's like a what do they call it? It's like a hot seat for me, where I have my coach on the call, and I have my mentor on the call, my coach, Coach Lara. So I don't know, please just do me a favor, everyone. Can you just unmute and just maybe anyhow you want to do it, you want to send a message. Thank you, Ma. Good afternoon, Ma, or good evening, Ma. Anyhow you want to do it, please just do that for me, please. Please, my coach is on the call. So if you want to clap,
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma. God bless you.
Good afternoon, coach.
This is a big hot seat for me. So I know I'm in a safe hand, and that's fine. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Coach Lara, for always believing in me. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you for all that you've, I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of your work on this call today. So that's fantastic. And for also, I have so many people here that joined this call. Thank you so much. Most especially my wife, my lovely wife is on the call. I love you so much. Thank you. And a lot of people from Standout Professionals. Thank you. Sorry, Jesse, I'm doing this because this is what I do a lot. I'm always careful with people. They are important to me, and they are the
That's
reason
very
why.
okay.
So thank you, Jesse, also for the opportunity to share the idea. Now, I want to quickly go back to Rachel for the question that she asked. Jesse did not say too much about what NA Pro is all about or what the academy they do, but there's something that I did for NA Pro I think last month or not last month, Jesse, when? I think last 2 months or last 3 months thereabout. It's called the competencies matrix. So I was once a student of NA Pro, and I was called to come and facilitate the next section. I think that's a big one for me, and I really appreciate that opportunity. You know, when you have your student coming back to come and teach other people, you know, that's a plus. It shows that the student have been able to do something, and also that the person is also worthy of listening to. So thank you, JC. Thank you, NA Pro Academy, for this. So Rich, Happiness, please, I would like you to please take up one of the courses of NA Pro that has to do with competencies matrix, the competencies analysis. So I did one for NA Pro, and it was fantastic in a way that you don't just schedule people for training based on passion again, or maybe because of you like their face, or because you just want to tick your box, or you want to spend your budget. You actually, everybody is going towards the route of academy, having your companies to be a culture that building a culture that appreciates learning and development. So everyone's supposed to be on a grade whereby you have everything assigned to your role, what you are supposed to do, and how you are supposed to do it. Then the gap can be analyzed, like what Tinuke was explaining. The gap can be analyzed. You see the gap analysis and see how to bridge the gap that you have. And so in a way, you can tie training, you can tie your development, and not necessarily everything should be a classroom training. And I want to quickly run this to us also. Of course, I know most people that are here knows about this. And there's this training model that talks about the 70-20-10 models of training or development. So the classroom is just 10% of anything that you want to do. There's this mentoring, there's this job shadowing. There are a lot of things that you can do: mentoring, job shadowing, job rotation, coaching, a lot of things that can be involved. And the best, which is the one that carried the 70%, is learning by doing. So, but that's not where we're here today. Today, I want to share something with you, the practical guide to calculating return on investment from employee development. Of course, many people, I want to quickly mention how this training came about. There was a day that I went for a training, a certification training for the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be certified as a trainer. And in fact, this RoI was one of the one of the training that people need. They were shout everybody, training managers, learning and development managers, and they were asking, how do we do it? And the facilitator or the top level people over there, they said, we cannot do it for you. You just have to go and pay for it. So that we'll call you people, we'll call experts to come and do it. And I was looking at it and how can we do this? How come many people don't know how to calculate this? How come many people don't have understanding of this? So I went on a research to bring this out. And at the end of the day, it was fantastic. If you have been following my social media, you see the response. It has been fantastic and very, very high. In fact, they had to create a new way of applause for me. I know some of some of the learning managers that attended our course, they are on this call today because they want to come and hear that, because there was no time to also explain better. So they want to come and hear the best of it. So I just want to start with this, that adding value to others is the surest way to add value to our own lives. Is by John C. Maxwell. He said, when you try to add value to other people, you are automatically adding value to yourself. And that's how life is. So I was able to see the opportunity of adding value to top level people, managers, and at the end of the day, it became something that I was even called out to come and explain in this type of gathering. So I want to appreciate everyone and also to encourage you to please, whatever you know, whatever you can do to add value to people, please continue, don't be discouraged. So let me quickly go straight to where we are here today. And before we start, I just want someone, if you can just unmute, to just tell me, what do you think about return on investment? What does it look like? What is your understanding about return on investment? Anyone? Anybody in the house? Let me see.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, thank you.
Okay, Tony speaking.
Yeah,
return on investment is, I mean, just the same. The term itself explains itself. So it's what you get from an investment that you make. Depends on what it is, whether money or whatever it is, the return is. But it is just basically what you get in return. Forgive my use of the word return again.
Yes.
The investments that you have made into something. Thank you.
Fantastic, Tony. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tony. And that's fantastic. So it's the same thing. Tony has been able to explain to us that is what you get with what you put in an investment or something. So at the end of the day, we want to relate this to employee development. You look at it in your company, and in your organization, one of the first things that they do when they want to do maybe cutting cost or maybe managing cost. Let me use JC's term. When people want to manage cost, the first place that they do is that they reduce the cost of training. They reduce people from the training that they do for people. They just reduce it and they say, okay, we can't train people this year, let's turn it to next year. And we always see it every time. And the reason is because the people in the learning and development sector, they've not been able, or the people in HR generally not been able to prove to the stakeholders, to prove to the people that this thing that we are doing is necessary, and also we need it to make the company fantastic. The person that spoke before me has done a great job on the Kilpatrick, so I won't go back to that. So today I just want to explain to you four key things that we want to do at the end of this day. Number one, I want us to look at the learning objective. So we want to understand the HR budget component. So when HR, maybe you are new into the HR or you are practicing, or you look at it and say, okay, what would the budget? What is even called budget? And what are the components of the HR budget? And the second thing that I want us to do is that I want people to be able to explain the principle of return on investment from employee development point of view. So the principle that are involved, how do you do it, and what does it take from the employee development point of view? So the third point that I want us to learn before we go out of this place today is that we must identify useful data from reports and conversations to generate information for calculating a return on investment. Let me stay a little on this note. Every time we speak, we talk, people discuss, And there are data that you can just pick up from people's point of view, people's people conversation, even the report, even the complaint, even query. As much as query, people, you can, as a learning and development specialist or learning and development manager or HR practitioner, you should be having your jotter with you every time. So when people are talking, when they are talking about something, the first thing that will be coming to your mind is not how to sack those people, is not how to make those people go, is to look at, okay, how can we, what is happening? How can we turn this on? How can we, oh, what is happening? Something happened yesterday. They came back with a training. And it was resolved. Oh, how do I turn it to a data? How do I turn it to a report that can help me? From data, from conversation, you are in the boardroom, you are in different areas, and you are listening to people. People are speaking. In fact, sometimes you even go to the shop floor. For some of us that works in production company or manufacturing company, there's nothing bad in walking to the shop floor and ask them, how are you doing? What are the things you are going through? How are you finding your work? So with that, you are pinpointing information. So today we'll be learning how to identify useful data from report conversations to generate information for calculating return on investment. And at the end of the day, of course, everybody here today, you will know how to calculate return on investment of a training and development. I hope I will be able to do this. And I'm sure by the time we are going out of this place today, you will enjoy this. So quickly, I want to explain what I call understanding HR budget component, HR budget component. So the academic to innovate HR, the AI HR, they brought something, so I got this information from them, and to look at it that, okay, when you want to share your budget as an HR practitioner, how do you put it? What do you do? How do you arrange your budget? And the first thing that goes is that the budget goes also to talent acquisitions and recruitment. Excuse me. If you don't bring anybody in, there's no way you can train anyone. So, and if everybody, for instance, this now that everybody's jackpot and everybody's running up and down, you will see that people pay a lot of attention to recruitment, talent acquisition and recruitment. So people spend a lot of money on that. So apart from that, bringing people in, attracting employee, we look at learning and development, including HR upskilling. So you look at it and say, okay, how do I develop my people? How do I increase them? How do I take them from where they are to the next level? So learning and development carry the second to the best of the budget, if you want to look at it. And the next one is compensation and benefits. You look at it, you need to compensate people, you need to help them, you need to pay them. You need to create an environment that is conducive for learning, create an environment that is conducive for working for people. And of course, you may want to do diversity and equities and inclusion. How much do you want to spend on equity? Do you want to celebrate people? Do you want to do, for instance, yesterday was the date to celebrate I think breast cancer awareness. How much do you want to spend on it, or something like that, or Women's Day or International Women's Day? You know, women has a lot of days in the years. I think there are about 3 or 4, and every day we keep on celebrating. So how much do you want to spend on that? How much do you want to spend? How much do you want to spend? People will prefer to spend money on equity and diversity than sending money on learning and development. So they don't look at, I don't know what learning and development have done, that research shows that anybody that wants to do anything, the first thing they cut off is learning and development. So, but after today, I will be able to prove to ourselves that, okay, it's actually good to spend money on training. So employee relations and talent management, of course, self-explanatory. We'll talk about employee safety and well-being. We see a lot of things. We see people mindset. We see people on maybe the health of people, their welfare, their well-being, their mental health, and a lot of things. And so people want to spend on technology. Do we want to do total recap of technology, or we want to at least do a little and bring another thing in? So the HR technology also consume money, and administration of HR also is something that HR budget also go through. So if you look at it and you see all of these things, excuse me, none of these things are you can't put any of these things away because they're actually good. They are needed. A good company, a good organization should work through, share the money as little as you have or as much as you have, share it around all these things. So no one should suffer. In fact, if you want to tell me, if you've been able to do it very well, the number one thing, apology to those who practice, those who in talent acquisition and recruitment. I believe, in fact, they don't even want their people to go. They don't want to keep on recruiting. So I believe you want to cut or you want to do a lot of things, where you can cut a lot of costs is on talent acquisitions and recruitment. But the other is the case. We talk about learning and development always. So that's just to give you a brief understanding of the budget of HR budget system and the component. So quickly, okay, I talked about, I said it that our first speakers talk about Kev Franklin, 4 levels of evaluations. Of course, I won't go back to it. I'll just summarize it. Yeah, when we tend to talk about training evaluations and a lot of training, when you want to evaluate the training that you have done, everybody knows that the first thing to run towards, is Patrick 4 levels of evaluations. But the question at the end of the day still result that, okay, at the end of evaluation process with result, did we target outcome? Did the target outcome actually occur? Which what she was trying to say when one of us was asking the questions that, okay, what do we actually need? At the end of the day, when you do training, when you schedule people for training, do you actually come back at the end of the day and check what you have done? So that was how a man called Jack Phillips came up and introduced return on investment to this model as level 5. So calculating of return on investment on training has long been an exclusive quest. So Phillips suggested that it can be done by compiling the level 4 data, converting it to monetary value, and then comparing those values with the cost of creating the program itself. So don't worry about the story. I will summarize it, and this is the summary. So before you go for any training or before you schedule anybody on any training, the first thing you need to do is to collect what we call pre-program data. And what are the pre-program data? Some people call it business case. Some people call it a lot of names that they call. Some people call it the raw data. Some people call it the reason for training. Some people call it for the model of technology, the model of training. So we call it a lot of names, but you just want to call it, the major name for it is collection of pre-program data. And the question is why, what is happening in your organization? What's the problem currently? And you're asking, okay, are people, they don't come early, or are people, they spoil our merchants, are people, they spoil this, so at the end of the day, we are spending money or maybe we are spending money on renovation, we are spending money on equipment work, we are spending a lot of money, and we are just calculating, we are just shouting, talking. So the first thing that should come to your mind as a learning and development practitioner is, okay, so how can we bridge this gap? So after you collect the pre-program data, the next thing that you need to do is to tell them, okay, can training solve any of this problem? And if you say yes, oh, training can solve any of this problem, oh, fantastic, great. So let's go. If training can solve this problem, then let's go for training. And at the end of the day, you must arrange your data. You must arrange your, so there was a platform and I was talking to some people and they were saying that, okay, I think there was a question that someone asked saying that, okay, if you, somebody, I think they invited somebody to come and train. And at the end of the day, the person is giving them something that they don't even believe. There's something that is not even practicable. Excuse me. So I was saying that I blame the person that actually invited them, because there's something they call information malnutrition as far as I'm concerned. I see the people that I work with as my children. You know, apology, I'm not saying I'm diminishing them in any way, but just to let them know how passionate I am to the people that I work with. So if I have somebody that is my child, For instance, I have a son, and you are bringing food to come and give him. I need to check the type of food you want to give him. I need to check the source of the food. I need to check a lot of things about it. And the same thing with training. So you need to ask the person that is coming to train your people, can you give me the slide? Can I see it? What are the, in fact, you should be the one to even create the slide. You should be the one to give them idea and say, okay, these are the training outcome. These are the things we want to achieve. How can you develop training on it? Not that people will just come and dump things on you and use the slide that they used 1972 and just bring it on you and run it. At the end of the day, you train, and at the end of it, there's no result. But if you target it to a particular thing, you can now go back again after maybe some months. That's what the evaluation is all about. You go back after some months and ask them, okay, have you done this? Okay, what about this? We've trained you on this. Do you understand this now? How about this? What is coming out? And you will see that you will see results. So I will give us a case study for us to understand this better at the end of our lecture today. So you collect post-training data, of course, definitely. You isolate the effect of the program, and you also convert data to monetary value. Then don't forget to also tabulate program costs. That is the need for those people. Some of us that there's a need for us to use maybe data analysis to explain things. Then you must, of course, calculating the return on investment, and also you must identify tangible benefit. If you don't identify tangible benefit, there's no way you will be able to prove to people that you're actually working. So now we are into the major thing now, and I need you to please pay attention here. So you look at it, and you look at maybe the formula for calculating return on investment, and the formula says that net program benefit over program cost. That is in percentage, of course, you multiply by 100 over 1. So net program benefit over program cost. So looking at it in mathematics, our elementary mathematics, when we in physics, apology for the people that are not science students here. So I did engineering. I have my background in engineering, and when they give you a formula, the first thing you need to do is to split those formula and look at what you can get now, and the one you cannot get, then you extrapolate it and get the best out of so that you can get your answer. So the first thing I want us to talk about is cost of training. Cost of training. So what are the cost of training? You just train people. Do you actually pinpoint the cost, what it costs you to actually carry out those training? So number one, I have 3 things that I put. Of course, a lot of them are available. A lot of and please, this is not for examination purpose, and these are proven tests and things that you can use. But at the end of the day, please, it's for practical purpose. So I'll be as practical as possible. So cost of training, I've divided them into 3. I call number 1 facilitators/trainer. So you look at the cost of training, and you're looking at the facilitator. You are looking for trainer. You are looking at trainer. What are the costs? What are the costs associated to trainers? What are the costs associated to facilitator? Do you actually know? Do you pinpoint it? Do you just pay them? Or you look at it and you evaluate it? Number 2 is structure. Most of us don't evaluate structure because we have a company where we work, and we have hall, we have training room. We don't know that if we send our people outside the company to come to go to do this type of training, they will definitely have to pay for the event, the place that you are using, the room, maybe the training room or the hall that you are using. And you'll be surprised, the minimum that can take maybe 100 people conveniently, or maybe let's say 50 people conveniently, you may have to pay up to 200 or 300,000 to get the place set up with a project, with a lot of things. So I will still explain. But also, people don't know that when you send them on training, it costs the company something. I just finished a project in the office now. I just finished a project. I run an academy, and I was speaking to the people that came from different areas of the organization, and they came, and I was speaking to them like to just share them up. I was able to bring the OEM of the merchants to come and train our people. And in a way, I was explaining something to them. And I calculated the cost of bringing them to the training, and all of them, they opened their mouth. Most times when you tell people that training costs the company a lot, they don't know. Some people also think when you schedule them on training, it's a time off. It's a time to just go and sit down. Some people will not even attend. Some people will not come. Some managers will not even release them. And there's a lot of things that are happening in a way that we need to quickly address. So if you know and you explain to them the reason why you and the cost for the training for these participants, they will take the training very, very serious. And this is what I've done, and I've been able to get results for it. So looking at the facilitators and trainer, we look at the professional fee. Some of them we want to call what they call professional fee, and say, okay, for bringing me to Nigeria, you pay this amount. You definitely give me accommodation. I don't eat food. I don't eat meat. I eat only pork. I don't eat this. I do a lot of things, a lot of demand that these people will ask for, you know. So you look at the professional fee. Apart from the professional fee, you look at the feeding. You look at hotel and accommodations in case you are bringing them in. You also look at curriculum design and logistics. A lot of things happen. You want to design it. The professional fee, they want to remove it from curriculum design, because anything that they are doing have to be termed to your own taste. You have to arrange it to your own personal level in a way. So this also can be part, you can arrange this and many others that you can think of to be what we call facilitators or trainer. Also, if you look at the structure, let me explain, let me toy with your mind a little. You look at training room, do you want to cost it? Put a cost to it. Stationaries, the pencils, the biros, the books, and that you just give people, do you want to cost it? Put cost to it. Logistics and orders, you ask some people to clean it, to set up the table, put their name tag, do a lot of things. You want to put a cost to it. You put maybe tea break and lunch and maybe dinner. It depends on the type of training you want to send these people. You want to put a cost to it also. Hotel accommodation, logistics and order. So a lot of things that you can think of, just play with your mind and do a lot of things in this regard. And you will notice, you will know that a lot for just training, I just call people to come and do, a lot has gone into it. So for participant, meaning our own employee, what are the things that are associated with them? We look at so when you schedule people on training and you bring them to do a training, at the end of the day, you will pay them for salary. You pay them salary, you still give them certificates to go out with. So at the end of the day, you are doing a lot. You are paying somebody to come and learn. The person is getting wisdom, knowledge to do more work. And at the end of the day, the person will still collect certificate and still go. Don't be surprised. You can even go and the person dropped letter the next day and said, I'm no longer interested in working with you anymore. So funny enough, someone asked a question one day and it was saying that, okay, what if I train my people and they leave? What if I train my people and the reason why I don't want to train people is because when I train people, they leave. What if I train them and they leave? And another person the person that was supposed to answer the question asked another question, that what if you don't train them and they stay? So meaning at the end of the day, they will stay and destroy things for you. They will stay and kill things for you. So just train them and do a lot of, so if you are training people, you look at the feeding, the hotel accommodation, some people you have to even travel, maybe because of transportation, maybe flight. So a lot of things. So all these things, we are going to put them into Naira and Kobo. We are going to put them into context that people can look at and say, okay, oh, men have been paid. In fact, the company, when I calculated it for them last week, I calculated almost 2 million per individual to just set up a training for them. So at the end of the day, when they were going home, in their mind is that the company gave me 2 million. I was able to convince all of them that you receive 2 million from the company. So in a way, that's a good one. That's a fantastic one to do. So look at all these things, convert it to money. But as much as possible, let it be naira and kobo, kind of, that it will not kill the company. So in a way, you can do a lot of things here. Now, I want to also bring this thing up. Some people want to tell us that, okay, how do you reduce the cost of training? How do you reduce the cost of training? Now, if you look at it with everything I'm saying now, the one that you have that is the major thing that can even kill, in fact, that can do a lot to the company, is this number one, which is the facilitators and trainer. At the end of this, training, I want to ask us, I want us to think, how can we eliminate this facilitators cost? How can we do that? What do you think can help us? I won't say that now. So let us be thinking around it. So at the end of the day, we can do it. So of course, the formula, you still remember the formula that we have for return on investment. So I don't know, maybe it's right here. Okay, let me talk about training benefit before I ask anybody if you have any question so far for what we have done, anything that we've been able to do. I see people sending messages. Okay, all right. I don't know, maybe maybe Jesse, you are still on the call. Can you please help me check the chat room if there's a question for my attention, or at the end of the day we ask all the questions together, so that I will not waste time. So training benefits. The question now lies, where do we get our value? Remember, we said the net training cost over the training benefit. So that's what we're. So let's look at the training. We've seen the training cost now. Excuse me. Let's look at the training benefits. What are the benefits that you achieve when you carry out training? So I've been able to look at this, and with research, we notice that there are two major benefits when it has to do with training. Number one is the tangible benefit. Those ones are direct. Those ones are easy to look at. And the second one is intangible benefits. So what are the intangible benefit and intangible benefits? So if you want to prove to anyone that you are adding value to the company, or you're adding value to them, the tangible benefits are, in fact, they are the one that you should focus on. Because the intangible benefits, you will see at the end of the day that they are not things that you can equate, but you can just speak to them. You can just talk about them when it has to do with your explanations and what you've been able to do as a learning and development practice. Maybe by the time we come for the advanced level of this, I think Jesse and any pro, they're organizing something along the advanced level of this. We'll go deeper to the tangible and intangible to add value to it, so that everybody can enjoy it. Let's look at the tangible benefit. In tangible benefit, we look at what are the things, the benefit that you can get that are tangible for training. The rate of absenteeism and turnover. You look at it, how the people leave the company, how they leave the companies, and the rate of that which people comes to work. Do they come early now? Is there any change in your training? Do your training have been able to change anything to them? Excuse me. So you look at it as any being reduction in material wastage. You look at it and say, okay, before these people, when they operate a particular machine, they always waste a particular maybe material. They waste material, and at the end of the day, what we are supposed to do, what the material that is supposed to use to produce maybe 100 bag or 50 bag, at the end of the day, you are now for 100 bag, you are producing 95. The 5 on it is a waste, and you are putting it, and the 5 will not be. There's no way you cost it. There's no way you will put it. So at the end of the day, is the reduction in material wastage. So you look at it, and that can be also be cost. You can cost it. Recruitment cost also. Of course, when people you just notice in your organization, and in 1 year or maybe 6 months, nobody leaves any role, and everybody are enjoying their work and they are doing their best. You need to write notes to whoever is in charge and let them know, your head of HR, and let them know that, look at it, we've trained people in a way, and at the end of the day, nobody leaves for the past 6 months. It's worth celebrating. So all the cost of recruitment can be added to give you the training benefit. And those are the things you can even present as a learning and development personnel. These are the things you can present to your people as part of your achievement. Then profit and of course, profit and sales. You look at it, what they were not meeting their target before. You conducted a training for them, and at the end of the day, they are now meeting their target. In fact, they are getting bonuses, they are overshooting their budget. Don't just keep quiet, talk about it, pin it out, write it out, and present it as part of your, and that's why you must build relationship with people. You must attend the meetings. So you must attend, whenever you are attending meeting, you must also identify some things that they are saying. Oh, we've been able to hit our target this year. Do not take it to maybe the department alone, maybe in sales or production. No, come to HR also and give them your own plus and your own achievement. Because as a result of what you have done, something has happened. So you must, when they are sharing the glory, don't run away from them. You must be part of those people that we're enjoying in it. You look at unplanned downtime for people that have maybe downtime. You notice that you already have unplanned downtime in a way, 2 days, 3 days, and the machine is still down. But at the end of the day, you've been able to work on it. You train your people. Excuse me. You train your people, and no, there's no need for unplanned downtime again. Every machine is running. People are working. People are delivering. So at the end of the day, you look at it. Do not be quiet. Write it as a learning and development practitioner. Learn it. Bring it out. Put the cost of downtime that you have been experiencing before, times it by, just look at it in the next 3 months. In the last 3 months, nothing has happened. In the last, maybe in 3 months before your training, and that's why we talked about getting information, getting data before training, and also what we call pre-training data and also post-training data. So you look at it and you compare. Every data that you have must be with you. It must stand with you. It must be something that you are carrying every day with you, and look at going to the stakeholders and asking them, how far about this thing? I noticed that you people, you don't have downtime again. How have you been able to do it? What are the things that you do to get this thing done? And they say, okay, our guys are just good. They are, in fact, the machine, they stop again. You know, people use a lot of word to explain. So in a way, you just bring it out. Okay, what have you been spending? How much have you been spending on machines maintenance? And just looking at, okay, before we spend 4 billion, 5 million, in fact, when they want to come and do this, in a way, they pay us a lot of this. Or maybe before you used to train, you used to use your maybe external party to come and work on your machines. And you bring people to come and solve the problem, and they collect big money and they will go. But you've been able to train your people, and internally they are solving the problem. Don't be quiet about it. Excuse me, don't be quiet about it. Talk about it. Take that cost, take it to them and say, okay, before, these are the under normal circumstances, if this thing break down, these people, this ABC company will come and they will collect this figure. So now our guys internal has been able to do it. So what we'll do is that we'll record it as part of our achievement, and we'll record it against our name that, okay, this is it. This is what we've been able to do. So that when you want to present return on investment, you can see what to say. Cost of repair and servicing, I've talked about that. Accident rate. Many people, the cost of accident, you cannot even think about it. A lot. Accident can cost a lot. And at the end of the day, you are noticing that people, no accident again. You've been able to organize a training, maybe a workshop or a training for your people, and they know what to do. They know they are doing it well. Celebrate it. Do not only celebrate it. Get data out of it. Excuse me. Get data out of it that you can use to present to people that, oh, this is what I've been able to do over time. Then production volume, reductions, recall or returns. In fact, marketing cost. So sometimes if you know that you are booming, you are doing a lot, you may want to reduce cost on marketing. You may want to reduce cost on maybe the product recall or returns, when they return products to you, when they recall products. So in a way, these are the things that you can put value to. You can put value to all these things and work with. Of course, intangible benefit, I'll just run through them because they are not things that you can also phantom. You cannot put hand onto it. Better communication. How do you rate that? That I don't have better communication again, but now have. anger and stress management. I used to get angry before. I used to feel stressed, and now I'm not angry again. Manage toxicity. My manager used to shout, used to be bullying, used to do, but now they are not again. So how do you put cost to it? Writing skill, becoming employer of choice. Like people are now running after you. People want to come to your company. They brand loyalty, and you have all these effective time management, work-life integration, that you can also enjoy your life. You can stay at home and work from home. You can even work, and you can even bring your family to work. You can even do a lot of things. How do you measure it? There's no way. It's not as big. It's not as easy as that when you want to measure all these things. But at the end of the day, your training benefit must be equal to something very huge. So you must arrange it in a way that it will come out very, very fantastic, and it will return to something huge. Remember the cost that we use for. Remember what we use for our you see our cost of training. Look at the kind of the currency that we use, how small it is. But at the end of the day, we are expecting that by the time you finish all what you are doing, you should have something like this. So the cost of the training benefits should outweigh the cost, and that's what will show you that you are making progress. So I want to give us an example now. So we quickly calculate it, so that you know how a practical example on what to calculate and how to calculate it. But before I go, I just want to be sure that everyone is still hearing me. I hope I'm not in the room alone. So please, if you can hear me, and if you are enjoying, if I'm adding value to you, I just need you to please say, okay, loud and clear. Thank you. You may want to unmute and also speak. You may want to unmute and speak. If you can hear me, please let me know. Let me know.
We can hear you, sir, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you.
We can
We can hear you, sir.
All
We
right.
can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. So I want to give an example of what return on investment, how to do. I've been saying the theoretical aspect. Now let's go to practical and see. Now, ROI, of course, in percentage, of course, we know is the net program benefit over program cost. What does it mean? Return on investment is financial value minus project cost over project cost times 100 over 1. So let's look at it. All right. So I want us to look at this. This is a practical example of what it takes to calculate your return on investment. This is a practical example, and I want to look at it together. Okay. I don't know. Can anybody read for me? Anybody? Let's make this particular aspect as interactive as possible. Can anybody unmute and read? Maybe I should call a name.
Okay, let me read this.
Thank you.
So,
I love this voice.
Thank you. Best
Thank
Crystal International, the only manufacturer of iPhone in Nigeria, organized 2 days training for 5 of our junior employees of the same cadre with the same salary grade. The normal working hours for the staff is 40 hours per week, 5 days in a week. The facilitating fee, including the curriculum design, was $2,000. The hall and writing material, tea break, lunch, and others cost $500. The weekly salary of each staff is $100. During the on-job training assignments, the staff was able to put back online one of the machines that has been down for 2 months. The pro forma invoice received was $10,000, including hotel accommodation and return tickets. But the expert couldn't fly into the country due to government restriction policy placed on traveling from UAE. Calculate the ROI of the training and development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Happiness. Thank you. Happiness, I'm owing you a copy of my book. So thank you I'm owing you a copy of my book. All
Thank you, sir.
I don't know if we'll hear you.
I just say, calm down.
I answered your questions. I answered your first question. No, you didn't give me book.
Yes, okay.
See, because I'm a man.
All right, so don't worry. Tony, also you win a copy of my book, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. I remember Tony was part of the class that I took, the competency matrix, right?
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. So how was the class? Did you enjoy it? Are you using it now?
Yes, I enjoyed it. Okay, so I haven't gotten to use it completely to its fullest, but I have used components of the class. I mean, because the class had a lot of other components that have really helped me. But because we don't run a very complex HR system, I've not been able to use that competency matrix to the fullest. But yes, that class was really, really, really helpful.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Thank you. Jesse did not give me the full gist of the feedback. Maybe Jesse don't want me to go.
We'll do that after your session.
Too much. Don't worry.
After this session, we will do that. You know, the test of the pudding is.
Okay. All right. So do anybody want to explain what do you understand by this case study? Let's look at this practical guide. Let's look at this practical example. What do you understand? Let's look at it. Who want to explain to us? What do you see? What can you see? What can you see? Maybe I should explain and we look into it together. Number one, there was a machine that had been down, and it's a fantastic machine, and it has been down for how many days? How many days? Anybody? How many months? I think it has been down for 2 months. Yes, thank you. It has been down for 2 months. It has been down for 2 months. And why was it down? Because we're waiting for someone to come and help us repair it. Where is the person coming from? It's coming from Dubai. So now what happened to the person? There was a government policy that says nobody should come to Nigeria through Nigeria from Dubai again. And as a result of that, that can clamp down our company totally, because nobody will be able to do it. So the Breast Crystal International company, who is the manufacturer of iPhone in Nigeria, in a way, I think it's my wife and I company. So my wife and I, you know, my wife is Crystal, I'm Best, so Best Crystal, so that they won't say I mentioned anybody's name. I won't use JC, so let me use my own name. So Best Crystal International, at the end of the day, you look at it and say, okay, what can I do? Would this machine just be down forever? And people have been paying money, people have been supplying money and be saying that, okay, what can we do? But at the end of the day, they won't be able to do, we can't do it. So what we'll be able to do, we conducted a training, a 5 days training, and we look at it and say, okay, instead of bringing somebody in to come and do this thing for us, let's look at it. What will it cost us to do this training? We do 5 days training. We schedule 2 people, or five people of junior level to do this training. And we look at it. So the training cost, if you can flash back to this slide, you look at the training cost, look at it very well, and let's run down to this part now. The training cost, look at man hour. How much are we paying this guy per month? Oh, those guys, they said for 1 week, their salary is what? $100. Oh, fantastic. So what's their worth? What's their worth? It's $100, right? Okay. So that's per hour, I mean. Oh, fantastic. So, but the training is for 2 days, right? The training is for 2 days. Oh, great. How many are they? They are 5. We'll multiply it by 5. Then we look at it again. So which is 100 over 40, which is their worth over their hour. So per hour, we pay them $2.5. Now we say they work 8 hours per day. Yeah, 8 hours per day. So 2.5 times 8, that's 40. And it's for 2 days, it's 20 rather. And that's for 2 days. We look at it for 2 days. And so if you look at it for 2 days, then you see that this is okay, 20 times 2, which is 40. Now, how many are they? There are 5 of them. Oh, no, it's for 5 days. All right, 5 days. So 5 of them, we look at, okay, times 4 times 5, we got $200. So we look at the facilitator the people that we called to come and train them, how much? They gave us $2,000 as the money that they want to take, the price that they want to take at the end of the day. Excuse me. So we look at it and say, okay, how much? Oh, we'll pay them. Okay, we'll pay them how much? We'll pay them facilitator cost. We say, okay, $2,000. Then the structure, what we use, what are the things we use? We use this place, right? We use the hall. So we call it the hall, okay, $500. Then we look at the training cost totally. What do we call the training cost? All these costs together make up our what? The training cost. Everything that we have here, all this total make us our what? Our training cost. So we look at it and say, okay, if we look at the structure, the facilitators and the man we add all of them together. At the end of the day, we pay $2,700 to get this thing done. If we pay $2,700 to get this thing done, then so why are we just quiet about it? We look at the pro forma invoice that was sent to us. It was what? How much? It was $10,000, including their hotel, the return, and all that. But excuse me, we've been able to get this thing done with just $2,700. So the training benefit, definitely net training benefit supposed to will be supposed cost of repair, meaning this pro forma invoice that was sent to us minus the training cost. What is the training cost that we were able to do? We used $2,700. So we did it and we got we calculated it and we got $7,300. So you are looking at the return on investment now. You look at 10,000 minus 2,700 over 2,700, and we got it. So look at what you've been able to save the company, almost 270%. That's what you've been able to do for the company. So just look at this scenario now, as simple as this is, a lot of things has gone through, and you've been able to save the company a lot of money. I'm sure by the time we'll be doing the advanced level, we'll take you deep down to tell you how to, beyond this, how to take this thing from where you are to the next level. So, but with this information alone, I know you can do a lot. With this information alone, I know you can do fantastic well. You can, don't worry, this slide will be sent to you. We'll send this slide to you of course, Jesse will explain how you get it. But as simple as this, these are things that happen in the companies, and people just take eyes off, and they just take their eyes off it. And they say, okay, the machine was not working before, but now it's working. What happened? Did you ever think of it, of bringing something to come and how to come and work with it? Do you ever thought of, okay, how did it happen? What happened? What is your input as a learning and development specialist, as a HR practitioner, to get this thing done? So I have a bonus. I have a bonus here. I have a bonus case study here that we can use as example to take home. You can look at it. During the presentation of, okay, maybe somebody should also read. Where's my reader? Or somebody want to read for us? Let me check here.
Let me try.
Okay. Hi, Ayo. Ayo, thank you for coming. Thank you, Ayo. So let's have Ayo.
Okay. During the presentation of 2020 financial report of Jesse Food Production, we discovered that $500,000, 75% of the 2020 budget was spent on repair of breakdown machineries. And as a result, there have been reduction in sales due to the unmet production volume, and a major customer, PZ, and now patronizing T-Best International Foods. The director and CEO, Mrs. Buluwatifolu, has instructed the HR manager, Mrs. Olushola, to reduce the staff strength by 50% before the end of 2021 financial year because of debts and cost of running the business. The L&D manager proposed a plan to tackle the problem by sending two of the local staff, Mr. A and Mr. B. So maintenance and reliability training, which removed the total cost of bringing experts from USA for machine repair, and also turned Mr. A to train the trainer at the end of 2021 financial year. There was no need to lay off staff. Instead, they employed more. 50% of the technical staff can now carry out machine repair. Breakdown also reduced drastically by 80% because the technical team now understood operating procedures.
Wow, thank you, AY. AY, you have my book before, so do you still need it?
I don't mind. I can give it to somebody.
All right. So a copy for you. Thank you. So,
okay, thank you so much.
Funny enough, thank you. Like, funny enough, this is exactly what happened in the company. This is exactly what we see almost every day. The reason why people are laid off in the companies are not because they just want to reduce their staff, are not because they just want to do this. But at the end of the day, every layoff, everybody that they are sending away is as a result of a problem that they are facing, and they want to solve the problem. So if you as an L&D manager can propose a way of tackling and turning many people in your businesses to train the trainers, that in a way they can come and train people in a way that you don't even need, you reduce the bringing people in. You can use the 10, 20, 70 principle also to do the training. You can use that. Why they train 70 people, and at the end of the day, out of the 70 people that have been trained, the remaining 30 can be trained in-house, and you can reduce a lot of costs. So with this, I know a lot of things has happened in the companies, a lot of things in the organization are going on, and as a result of that, that's exactly how people lose, and that's exactly how people live. So this is a bonus case study, and I believe that by the time you look at it, you see that it's exactly what is happening. So in conclusion of everything they've been saying since morning, is training, return on investment measure how much an organization gain from its investment in training. So it is financial metric that expand on the benefits and business results relative to a training program. It is not a training satisfaction measure which indicate how happy the employee are with the training, like what Tinuke explained to us. You are doing a lot for your organization, back them up with statistical analysis, inform them how important you are to the organization, and by presenting your return on investment. I really want to appreciate everyone who joined the call, and I'm sure that there may be one or two questions that you have. But before the questions, I don't know if my coach is still on the call and she just want to throw more light to what I've not said. I don't know if she's still on the call. Yeah. I don't know if she's still on the call. Ma'am, please, can you unmute and say something to what we've said so far? My coach, Coach Lara.
I was hoping not to speak at all. I thought I could get away with that.
You know now, you can't do that
well
with me.
Done. I mean,
Thank
after I heard you speak, I felt really proud of how far you have grown. Well
Thank
done.
you, Ma'am. Thank you.
I think it's important just to reinforce the understanding that learning and development is critical for any successful business. And our role as professionals is to continue to see how to embed and ingrain learning and development into our organization in a revolutionary way. Let me clarify that. So it's
no longer business as usual, but how do we bring innovation into how we deliver learning and development within our organization? And beyond that, how do we make the business to see the importance and the benefit that we're learning and development? The narrative has to change from what it used to be before. And this course with insights, value on how we can bring more, no longer the same old way of learning. We have technology that can help the organization. What is most important is sorry, my network threw me out very sorry about that. So thank you, Enipro, for this platform. Thank you, Tinuke. You've come a long way. One of the things that has kept us as sisters is the fact that we both have passion for capacity development. And I'm really glad that, we stay committed to that vision. God bless you, Tinuke, for all that you do and for your support. On that note, thanks everyone for listening. I don't intend to talk at all today, but I hope that I made some common sense. Thank you.
Always, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ma. Okay, Jesse, over to you.
Yes, there are a lot of questions that you would need to be available to touch base. I wanted it to just be done so that we can focus on them. I think there are about 4 of them.
Okay.
Yes, and if you still have questions, just kindly share. Again, for the case study that Toba shared, we'll do an email where you can share your response, and then so that could also, you could get feedbacks. Like he said, it's the bonus. So we'll all look at it together and then try to help out as best as possible. I think the first question here is, permit me, I have to scroll down. Someone is saying, I don't understand the man hour. Can you please explain again? That's okay. The first question.
So should I let me take them one by one so that I will not forget.
Okay.
So okay. I was saying that man hour. Okay, maybe I can quickly. Okay, so for man hour is like the words of some of the person. Like when you bring some, for instance, if for instance all of us were on the call now, I remember we scrape up to about 45 or 46 thereabout, and you look at us, okay, how much do we earn per month? And if you look at it, how much is our salary per month? So you are looking at, for instance, you look at me, how much do I earn per month? And if my salary is this, so how many hours do I have in a month that I work? So per hour is my what? Do we get? So look at this, for instance, look at this example that I gave. Look at this example that I gave now. So they looking at the question, they said the guy is the manufacturer iPhone organized 2 days training for 5 of her junior employee in the same cadre. So many all of them, they are earning the same amount. Now they said the normal working hour for the staff is 40 hours per week. So meaning for every week, and you work 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday. That I assume that's what they do. So he said so for the man hour now, you get all the values from here. You get all what you want. How to calculate this? You get everything from here. From here now. From here, from this place to sorry. Apologies. I've drawn something on the screen somehow, but please just see. So from here now, they organized 2 days training for 5 of her junior employee of the same cadre, and they said their salary for the staff is 100. Their salary, all of them, the salary that they collect is. They said the salary that they collect is what? Is $100, meaning per week they get $100. Now, how many hours do they work in a week? 40 hours. So this is it. So that's why you have in a, sorry, I'm trying to, yeah. That's why you have here, that's why we have the watt per hour, meaning they have 100, they collect $100 in a week, but they work 40 hours in a week. That will be 40 over 100 over 40, that's 2.5. So now times 8. Do you understand? So times 8.
Sorry, sir, where's the 8 coming from?
That's please hold on.
$8 per week, I guess.
Yes, it's the cost per week.
That should be 8 hours per day.
Per day, sorry. Per day.
Yes, sorry. It's 8 hours per day because they are working 8 to 5. So this is per hour. Per hour. For 1 hour, you get 2.5. But for in a day is 8 hours, meaning from 8 to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's 8 hours. So you get 20, right? So for 20, they said how many of them? It was organized for 2 days. So for 1 day, if you get 20 times 2, will give us 40. Now, there are 5 of them, five of them. So for per day is now times 5. Do you understand? So we now have 200. So this is the one per the cost. Here we are trying to look for the cost per hour. We got the cost per hour. Then we have 8 hours in a day. We multiply to get 20. Then we have 2 days for this training. So we multiply to get 40. And we have 5 of them that participated in the training. So we multiply to get 200. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, this is the next one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone, Ayomide, just hold on. I think I see your hands up and we'll take your questions. But let's just get the other questions. So what's the difference between the participant feeding and structure feeding? That's from Folashade.
A participant feeding and structure feeding.
Yes, that's the question from Folashade.
Let me look at it. They may be. Okay. The participant feeding, you may want to feed some people that are even doing, that are helping you, like office assistants. They are not participants, but they will still take part of your food. So you want to look at it also. So maybe you brought people to come and do this training. For instance, I just came back from CIPM conference last week, the one we had at what they call it, Port Harcourt. Yes, at Port Harcourt. And a lot of, in fact, about 50% of the people that came, many people were there just to help and to provide support. So they will definitely feed, they will definitely eat. So you may want to think about their cost also. So that's why we have that there. I hope I've been able to answer that question.
At Folashade, if you're still on the call, I think that's for you to confirm that. Okay. Okay, great. I think the last one is from Ayomide, but I see that you asked the first question, which was answered. I don't understand the man hours. I don't know if it's the same question you wanted to ask with your hands up. If it's a different question.
That was the same question I wanted to ask. And again, I would like to ask about the HR budget. Is it that we can still cut down some costs? Like take, for instance, bringing in, like recruiting new members to the system and the likes like that. Is it that we can cut down the costs or not really necessary?
Okay,
because there
all
are
right.
some things, okay.
No, let me hear you.
Okay, when you explained this diversity and inclusion, that kind of thing like that. Maybe spending money on some ceremonies or anniversaries. So you made mention about cutting down. I don't know
Please help
if
me. Help me, oh. Let's celebrate, oh. Let's do ceremony. I beg you. Don't let them say you came for any training that they said they should not do. I beg you in the name of God. Please celebrate, oh. Before they will say it's not bad, I say you should not celebrate again. Okay, but on a lighter
we're
note.
talking about cutting down, not taking everything away.
Okay, all right. So on a lighter note, of course, the companies, all those things, they are just addition as far as I'm concerned. They are very, very important and they are needed. Let me choose my words carefully. They are very, very important and they are needed. In fact, they are the best. In fact, some people are looking forward to it every year.
It's December.
Just I don't mention December rice. I did not say December rice and oil. But I'm just saying that, okay, for instance, if there's a need to cut any cost, if you will cut cost, you can look at some areas. And one of the areas that I feel that I can say to anybody, and I will not be apologetic about it, is the talent acquisition and recruitment. If you cut down the cost of employing new people into your company, of course, that's good, meaning your rate of turnover is very, very low. Meaning the only people you are exchanging, the only people you are replacing are people that are going on retirement or people that are dying. Because definitely, of course, there are reasons why people leave company. It may be because of death. It may be because of relocation. It may be because of maybe sickness. It may be because of maybe they get a better place. And at the end of the day, you notice that most people, 98% of those people that are leaving are actually leaving because they got a better place. So can you make your company that choice, that brand that anybody can reckon with and want to stay with, you know? So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying we should not do I'm not saying we should not celebrate. Let's celebrate, oh, please, oh, I beg you.
I think the final question we'll take is from Maureen Obo that says, it's HR, that's L&D unit, a cost center or an income center? Okay, let me allow.
No,
Toba,
please.
That's for you.
Is what? I didn't get that well.
Is L&D unit a cost center or an income center? That's the final question we're taking today. Every other question we would take afterwards.
Is L&D a cost center or an income center? Okay, yes. So I don't know where you are getting your, I was saying it that a lot of things that are, a lot of definition that people always give, cost centers, income centers. Of course, every part of organization should be income center. That's my understanding. Everybody must be able to save a cost. Everybody must be able to bring. So even if you are spending, you must show receipts that you are spending well. So if you are spending, you must spend in a way that you are adding value to the company. So I don't believe you should have any part of your organizations that is a spending, a cost center kind of, in a way that you are just the one spending. So you should be able to bring value to the table in a way that can be equated to cost. So you can't go to your, you can't go with the mindset to your stakeholder and said, okay, as far as I'm concerned, and our own is just to spend. We don't care about how things have been done. No. I don't think that's right. And I don't know if there's anybody who's on the call who, oh, wow. I'm seeing somebody on the call that I respect so much. One of my great mentors in the house is Tunji Raphael. Tunji Raphael, of course, I know you will know Tunji Raphael, JC. I don't know if Tunji want to help us. Thank you, Tunji. Tunji, thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. I was thinking he would be able to answer that question if we were a call center.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you need me to do that, I can.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. So one of the things, good evening, everyone. And I say good evening to thank you for putting this together. I was very happy to see this going on. So I decided to listen all through. So should training or L&D be a cost center? So that person is asking, should L&D also bring profit into the business or just be spending money of the business? There are different ways to look at it. Some people will say that L&D should help to bring money into the business. And like Toba has rightly said, yes, we all should be a place, should be a unit that will help bring money. And what are the things we can do? One of it is the ITF. If we know this ITF, how you do your reimbursement and all of that with ITF. So that's one of the ways that HR or L&D can actually become a profit-oriented unit. And this is it. I assume and quite assume that a number of us who are on this call are conversant and we understand how the process, the ITF process, helps L&D to bring back some money into the business. Now, statutorily, a business is meant to pay 1% of their total costs on employees. So meant to pay, it's a requirement. You're meant to pay it to ITF every year. However, based on the numbers of trainings that you do, that you are able to get approval for, you have the opportunity, if you meet the quota of trainings you are meant to do across the 4 different categories, you have the chance and the opportunity to be able to get back up to 50% of that money that you have paid to ITF. I worked in a business that was paying close to about 150 million to ITF as 1% of our payroll. Yeah, it's called 1% of our payroll. I worked with a business that did that was paying over 150 million. And at the end of the year, we had the opportunity at L&D to help get up to 50% of that money back to that company. So most times every year when we get the receipt, when we get the check of that 50%, sometimes we don't get up to that 50%. Sometimes we get 20%, sometimes we will get 30%. And when we get that check back, the business is always very happy that HR or L&D has helped to bring some money back, which if we do not do all those things, the money, the 150 million that we have paid to ITF, because the statutory requirement, we won't get a dime back from it. And so in that way, L&D or HR can help to bring some money back. We are not just spending budgets, but we become a place where revenue could be generated. Also, as it is today, technology and learning has made it easy for us to set up online academies that people can register to take trainings, pay for them, and then we make money back to the business. So, like Toba had rightly said, L&D should not just be a cost center where they say, oh, we spend money. Actually, we also can bring back money to business. There are quite a lot of things that we can do. We can open up our training. I'm sure that one of the things that Toba was doing or is doing where he is currently is also trying to make sure. He mentioned that he started some work, he did some work, some academy. I'm aware that that is also meant to be opened as time goes on to external people to come and take some of those trainings and pay. And in that situation, of course, HR will start making profits for the business and not just spending. Okay, I think with this little contribution, I want to believe that question has been answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you, boss. You're always hitting things. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. I think that's the concluding part of this is to just tell everyone that anywhere you find yourself, please add value to others, because that's the surest way to add value to yourself. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you may want to follow me on any of our social media, any of the platform. These are my contacts and everything about me. But majorly I prefer LinkedIn, just Toba Best and all. But a lot of things are happening in any pro, please. I think there's a gift for the five people to join or 5 people to register. I don't know. Do you,
yes, I was going to elucidate on that.
Okay,
yeah, just to do a bit of recap in terms of for those who want books. I think Happiness, Tony, and I didn't catch the last name, but I think Toba, you know his name. Is it Abayomi? Not sure.
Yes. Dada, Ayo.
Yeah. So there will be communications on how that will be done. You get further information on that so that we don't lose that. Also, thank you also for participating. Again, the call to action is this is level 1. There's going to be other more granular sessions that will help us deep dive into this conversation, especially for those who you are representing in your organization on this call. There'll be further communications that would speak to that aspect. More details will be shared. Again, a rollover to this is, like Toba talked about, the session he attended, I think it's early this year, which is the strategic HR analytic class. When you're asking whether, I think the last question was whether L&D is a cost or a revenue center. The summary is, by the time you bring strategy to it, it becomes more of a revenue center, just as Raphael and also Toba has added to it. But yeah, more ways to see this. We heard Tony was shared briefly when Toba was asking him around the course he took with us back at Academy. That's the HR analytics course. So you would deep dive into areas such as you get to understand HR analytics, intro metrics. You'll also get to be Tinuke again, and then you would also get to do stuff around talent and recruitment analytics to understand how to hire and what makes sense depending on the complexity of your business. You will also understand the competency of L&D analytics, which also has to do with your developmental plans and how to do those mapping. Yeah, again, you would also learn performance analytics and how to look at it differently. So these things that you see, you've witnessed today, they are deeper analytics to it. This is the analysis. But at the end of the day, there has to be an analysis to it where you build it, you present it in the form of a dashboard, and it makes sense to the business leader. Sometimes they may not want to see all the granular calculation that you've done. They might want to see it in forms of charts, and dashboard or like reports, and that's where you would also need to get more amplified. So we invite you to go on this journey with us. It starts next week. If you're interested, you get correspondence as to how to join in. For everybody who registered and also on the call, there are discounts that you will get to be able to join that course. So there would be mails to that. Our team will send an email to that effect. Also, if you're interested in data analytics, these are there are 3 courses we are closing for the year. The data also analytics class. The first 2 months is going to be from November to December. So you can take part in that. Now, the reason for we deciding to do this last phase is because we understand that professionals many a times or more often than not usually plan ahead for the new year. And if you're looking at harnessing your data analytics skills, this is a good place to start. I say this for a fact anywhere. We are not careful to say we do this best when it comes to training on data analytics. We do this really best. So we invite you on this journey. We also have financial analysis, but let's even stay on the calculating HR, the ROI, so that, because that brings a bit of finance to the whole conversation. Without further ado, I want to thank everyone for being part of this conversation today. Toba, do you have final words for everyone on the call so that they can hear from you before we meet again?
Yes, thank you, everyone. And I want to appreciate you for joining. Thank you so much. And I want to advise you, please register to any of those training. They are fantastic, especially the one I did. Fantastic training that skyrocketed my journey. This particular strategic HR analysis, you will learn a lot. It's not about HR alone. So I don't know why they put it as strategic HR analysis. I would have just preferred to be strategic HR. I mean strategic analysis, because you learn a lot. You learn about metrics, you learn about how to, I don't want to go back again and explain, but please try as much as possible to do. Then also, if you are looking for how to maybe transit from where you are to the next level, or you are looking for what they call it, maybe job, you want to change your job, or you want to get a new career path, you can send a message or so and get let's meet. I have a book called The Key, and I'm an author of a book also called The Key. That's fantastic, a great book, fantastic book that you love. Also, thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, JC, for the opportunity and time. Thank you, Tinuke. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if you have further questions, you can send to us communications that Martin will pick it up, and then you also get mails on the, just to close up on the case study for those who want to deep dive. I know some persons might not, but some persons would be interested in deep diving. Again, I want to also appreciate Toba. You find out that if you notice, if despite being under the weather, is still able to champion this session for over an hour plus. And that shows a level of passion for this topic and generally for improving lives, talking about his book, The Key, and helping career professionals and also young professionals to be able to find their feet and then also to be able to deep dive in their respective careers. Thank you, Raphael, for contribution. I also want to thank Lara, even though I know she had given a heads up that she has other meetings that she might transition to. So thank you for being here. Lara has also really impacted us a lot at the Academy. A very strong force at the Academy. Finally, I also want to thank Tinuke as well for availing her time from a very busy schedule. We had to drag her into this session. She has other commitment that she had to doze off, just for her to be here. I don't know if she's on the call. Tinuke, I don't know if you're still on the call. I don't know. I'm not seeing you here again. I don't know if my log is okay. I'm not seeing, I don't think she has had to switch to other conversations. She has also stated that earlier. So without further ado, I want to say thank you everyone for joining. We'll get further correspondence by email. To join the HR class starting next week, you also get further correspondence. And if it's data or financial analysis, or if perhaps you are an L&D person or your organization looking forward to planning trainings, and I'm sure that you've learned different models, but we would also get mails on if there are areas where we train on that interest the organization. You can also reach out to us for more what they call it, tailored trainings. I'm trying to customize training. That's the word I was looking for. So thank you so much. Let's have a wonderful night rest. And then if you are in the Christian faith, happy preparations for service tomorrow. And then if your Sunday is for resting, also happy resting day tomorrow. Let's have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, sir. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Rachel, thank you. Thank you, Noah.
Yeah. Good to hear from you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Adiola, thank you. Thank you. Bridget, thank you. Dimeji, thank you. Afolayan Sunday, thank you. Thank you so much. Ayomide, thank you. Abrazak, thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.